This is BBC Essex.
So let's continue our conversation now. 0800 111 40 41 with Nana Agyeman, who's Director of Access UK. They provide career and employment advice and help young people from a wide range of communities. Pleased to say joins me now. Morning, Nana.
Morning, good morning.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us. So describe to us what you do and how do you feel about stop and search?
What do? I think you summed it up quite well. Essentially, we help hard to reach marginalised young job seekers into work, training, further education, and so forth. So the whole plethora of careers and guidance support for young people, particularly those that are deemed to be hard to reach. Throughout London.
Which are sometimes these are the type of youngsters as well that are targeted by gangs, aren't they, as well, to get involved because they are hard to reach, and if you don't reach them, someone else will.
Yes, the hard to reach is a bit of a vague statement. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're vulnerable young people that are involved in gang activity. It could be somebody who's even a graduate. It's marginalised communities that find it hard to access mainstream services that we particularly support. So it could be even a graduate who may have good qualifications but struggling to find work. So it's across the board. It's not just your typical people that are involved in gangs and criminal activity.
Not just young, vulnerable youngsters then. So talking to the young people you work with, what's their view? What's their view on stop and search? Well, what are they saying to you about it?
Well, your previous speaker mentioned a lot of important things, which is that he talked about the disproportionality and perception that it's almost like it's an exclusively black problem. That's the elephant in the room, which a lot of people kind of either skirt around or try to avoid or try to explain away. Now, the point is, knife crime is having an impact on everybody, irrespective of age, irrespective of your sex, religion, your wherever it is. But the perception in the media is a black problem. Hence why I think there's a lack of effort, because I would truly believe if cats and dogs were being killed at the same rate as human beings were being killed, we have a much greater reaction. But because there's that misconception about the demographics of people that are involved in this, there is apathy and there is a lack of focus on actually drawing down on the solution to address the problem. Yesterday, I heard in the news that there was a late mother that was killed by her own son in Enfield. Beginning of the year, there were 3 white individuals that were killed via a knife, and it's like I said, that the media has a big part to play in kind of the distortions of these stories. And I think once we kind of realise that it's having an impact on everybody, irrespective of where you are, where you live, whether it's in Essex, whether it's in wherever it is, then there'll be more of a concerted effort to actually deal with the problem.
How do we deal with the problem then?
Well, there isn't just one. It's not a one fix. There's a multitude of kind of reasons for the spike in knife crime and the spike in serious youth violence. But for me, knife crime is essentially a mindset challenge. Right, we have to look at how people think. We have to look at things like early intervention. So engaging youth at primary school level, not when they go into their teens. So there's a multitude of reasons, and I think things like stop and search, it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's a populist kind of so-called solution, but doesn't really address the root causes of knife crime. The poverty, the miseducation, the poor housing. There's a whole plethora of reasons why we are where we are. The cutbacks in youth services. I think youth services have been cut by half over a decade, even more than half across the country. So there's a whole array of reasons why we're at the point where we're at the moment, where almost every day you wake up, there's news of another stabbing or someone being killed. So,
I mean, we've never had,
that's where we are.
I've been doing these phone-in shows for 25 years now, and we've, and I've worked all over the country. I've worked in different areas. We've never had anything like this. I mean, this past year, 2 years, it's been horrendous. It's been from the capital. I mean, thank goodness we're not there in Essex, but that things creep out from the capital, from London, and a lot of people have moved here from London. So I'm speaking to ex-Londoners as well here. It's horrendous what's happening at the moment. And we've been talking about, looking after children and educating children for the past 20 years. I've been talking about it on this programme. Oh, we need to educate. We need to help children. We need to do more youth trade. It hasn't happened. So surely now we've just got to get on top of it and just at least find or maybe stop people taking a knife out because they think they might be stopped and searched.
Well, I mean, look. Like I stated in another program a few weeks back on BBC that the whole notion that knife stop and search is an effective tool against knife crime is a bit of a fallacy anyway, because statistically, 7 out of 10 stops results in NFA, which is no further action. Out of the remaining 3, maybe 1 out of the 3 are actually related to possession of a knife. So when you actually look at the action in terms of the impact, is literally void.
So do you think they're a waste of time? Do you think they should be stopped? Do you think they cause more problems than they solve?
Well, let me answer that question. I think I don't disagree with stop and search per se, as long as it's used effectively. So if it's intelligence led in terms of police targeting specific perpetual knife carriers, then that's fine. People in the community are just as tired of all this craziness that's going on just as anybody else. But when you create a situation where you have blanket stops because you lack the intelligence, you lack the
and the police officer was actually saying that these are targeted, these are intelligence led, because otherwise, as you say, they don't lead to anything, and it's probably a waste of their time as much as anybody else's, and maybe makes people cross.
That's a common response from the police, but the data doesn't say that. The data says something else. If it's intelligence led, why is it that there's only a fraction of success rates in terms of actually holding somebody or catching someone with a knife? The data is there. It's not like these are things that we can actually get access to. The point is, even if it was successful, let's just say it was the rate was 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 stops, and you found a knife. You're still not dealing with the root causes of why that person's carrying a knife in the first place. You're only dealing with the symptoms. Surely
that's not down to the police to sort out. That's down to social. That's down to society. That's down to us to sort out. That's down to parents, teachers.
Absolutely. You're spot on. But the thing is, the perception in the general public is that you can stop and search your way out of this problem. No. And we're actually on the same page in the sense that we need to look at an array of solutions and actions to deal with it. That's the police input is at the end of that scale. you see, so what I'm advocating is other, for me, more effective tools than actually than stop and search.
Well, we leave it there for time, but thank you very much indeed for joining us. Your thoughts on that? That was Nana Agyeman, who's director of Access UK. They provide career and employment advice to help young people from a wide range of communities get into jobs and help them on their way. Your thoughts on this, though? Stop and search. Nana is actually saying it just doesn't give enough results to be worth it. What do you think?
This is BBC Essex.